Welcome to this mini course on 3 topics on our memory. I'm going to talk a bit about the following 3 subjects: chunking, long-term memory and the focused and diffuse modes. Chunking is about how packets of information are stored in our brain. Long-term memory is about how we can put actual information in our brain. And the focused and diffuse modes talk about how we can retrieve information from our memory. We can do that in different ways, and these 2 ways work together. I hope you will enjoy these 3 videos. What are chunks? Chunks, you can say it in 3 different ways. Chunks are compact packages of information that you can recall easily. Or you can say there are pieces of information that are bounded together by their meaning. And more theoretically, biologically, we can say there are a network of neurons that are used to fire together. So you know how to perform an action. Like an example, you know how to ride a bike. There are all different kinds of activities that you have to do. And the chunk is basically, I want to ride a bike. How do I do that? And there are a lot of different parts of riding a bike, like making sure you don't fall, that you have to remember. How can we look at it, at these chunks? Imagine, for example, learning a language. Then you have an alphabet that you learn. It's 26 letters, and that is where you start. These are your basic chunks that you will have to learn first. From this alphabet you can work on to words, like slide. We select 5 letters that we have already learned, and these smaller chunks form one bigger chunk, a word. It is of course possible to only remember a single word. It's an example that I give with some Chinese characters. You learn soon enough when you want to go to the toilet what is the males or the females. But you don't know how it fits in the context of this language. It's just a word and nothing more. And that's different from learning an alphabet, as I'm explaining, so you know the separate chunks in this. With the words as chunks we can form sentences, like this is a slide. And we formed a sentence. There's also a bigger chunk, we really can store it in our memory. The question is, can we form a memory of just a sentence? Of course, that is possible, but you immediately lose the context. For example, think of carpe diem. It's a Latin sentence. It's a proverb, and that's the kind of sentences we remember, proverbs. Looking at this Latin sentence, you have to realize, yeah, but I only know what this means, these 2 words together in this way. So you don't really know Latin when you just know this sentence. While if you have learned the alphabet and if you learned the words, then you actually know a language, start to know a language. You can also chunk a complete text. That's what storytellers, singers and actors do. They remember complete texts. And even then you can of course chunk a complete text without the separate parts, like phonetically remembering what you're supposed to say, and that of course happens. But it's not learning a language, because then you cannot change the sentence or change the meaning a little bit, because you only know phonetically this is the complete text, you know nothing more. So that is basically the difference between knowing the separate chunks and chunking a complete text at once. If I summarize this, basically learning a language consists of learning the alphabet. From these smaller chunks we learn words, which form new chunks. Words, we can form sentences. Some of these sentences we will memorize as proverbs, and we can even chunk complete text. But it is the most easy to chunk a complete text if you already know the alphabet, if you know the words, you maybe even know a few sentences. And the question is, does this actually happen in our brain? Yes, it does. I show you here two pictures of a mouse that has been trained in a certain way in a lab. Above picture gives you a view of a branch in the brain before the training. And after the training, 24 hours after the training, we see new spines on this branch, which means that new chunks have been actually formed in the memory of the mouse. So the mouse now probably remembers something from this training. So it actually happens in your brain. So what is chunking? Chunks are these packages of information in your brain, and you can add them together to form bigger concepts. I gave the example of a language where letters form words, and words can form sentences, and sentences form texts. And we also looked inside of our brain, and we saw that chunks are physically formed in our brain. So I would like to thank you for watching.